The first sound is rain. It patters against the windshield like static, blurring the neon glow of roadside signs into smeared colors. My throat feels dry, and when I clear it, the sound seems too loud inside the car. The dashboard hums. The heater rattles. For a moment, the whole world feels empty except for me and the road. I tell myself it's just another late-night drive, another lonely highway connecting nowhere to nowhere. But there's a reason I'm whispering this to you. A reason I don't want to raise my voice. Because some roads remember us, and some passengers never leave. The first time I saw her, she was standing alone on the roadside. Rain blurred my windshield, the kind of steady drizzle that turns the world into static. I almost didn't notice her until the headlights caught a pale outline, arm raised, thumb stiffly pointed toward the road. I should have driven past, but I slowed. Something about her stillness unnerved me. Not shivering, not shifting weight, just waiting. She leaned into the window when I rolled it down, her hair stuck in wet strands against her face. She asked for a ride, voice so soft I had to lean closer to hear. The way she said my name stopped me cold. I never introduced myself. Still, she climbed into the passenger seat, water dripping from her dress onto the floor mats. For a while, the only sound was the rhythm of the wipers. She gave me directions: left, right, merge, like she'd driven this road before. I felt disoriented, even though I knew the highway well. The exits were wrong. The mile markers didn't line up. Every time I glanced at her, she seemed more familiar, like I'd seen her face in a reflection, or in a dream I forgot to wake from. At one point, she asked if I ever felt like the road remembers us. When I didn't answer, she smiled faintly and pointed ahead. Yours does. Her hand trembled, but her fingers stayed locked toward the black stretch of highway. We drove for what felt like hours. I can't explain how the gas gauge never moved. My phone had no signal. The same radio station played over and over, a DJ repeating the same sentence like a looped recording. When I tried to turn back, the road folded on itself. The same broken billboard, the same mile marker, the same strip of dead pines leaning against the wind. And her, always in the passenger seat. I realized she wasn't wet anymore. Her dress had dried, her hair perfectly combed, but the puddle on the floor mat never evaporated. She left something on the seat, a folded slip of paper. I didn't remember her writing it. The handwriting looked eerily like mine. The note read, "You'll forget to turn again." That was when I panicked. My knuckles whitened around the steering wheel. I pressed the gas harder, swerving, desperate for any exit. But each ramp circled back. The hitchhiker hummed softly, the melody out of tune, like a lullaby recorded on damaged tape. When I begged her to tell me where she wanted to go, she turned and whispered, "Home." Her face didn't look like her anymore. It looked like me. I slammed the brakes. The car spun sideways, headlights cutting across rain-slick pavement. When it stopped, she was gone. Only the folded note remained. But now, in place of the first message, it read, "You dropped me off already." The passenger door clicked shut by itself. And when I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw a figure walking on the roadside, hand raised, thumb stiffly pointed upward. The headlights behind me flickered. Another car slowing down. And then it hit me, maybe I wasn't the driver anymore. Maybe I never was. If you're listening to this, remember something. The road doesn't forget. It folds. It replays. It reuses us. And if you ever see a hitchhiker who knows your name before you say it, don't stop. Because once they're in the car, they never really get out. So tell me, what would you do if the road already knows you? If I vanish, this recording is proof. Subscribe to this channel so you'll remember me, because the road erases names fast. And if you hear footsteps tonight, echoing faintly outside your window, don't look. It's just me, still trying to find my way home. The man in the back seat, he's already inside, halfway dark horror story. The first sound is a cough. I glance into the rearview mirror, and for a split second, I swear I see movement behind me. But the back seat is empty. The reflection shifts with the flicker of a streetlight, shadows sliding across cracked upholstery. I tell myself it's nothing, just another long drive, another lonely night where headlights blur into exhaustion. But the truth is, I don't like driving past midnight anymore. Not since that night. It started like this: a gas station on the edge of nowhere, humming fluorescent lights buzzing against the dark. I pulled in because I needed fuel, but mostly because I needed company, even if it was just the bored clerk staring at his phone. When I came back outside, the car door felt heavier than usual. The air inside smelled different. Not bad, just not mine. I remember glancing in the mirror before pulling onto the road. Just a quick glance. And in the reflection, I thought I saw the outline of a man seated directly behind me. I whipped my head around. Nothing. The road was empty except for my headlights stretching forward into black. But the feeling wouldn't leave. The weight of presence pressing from behind, like someone breathing softly, just out of sync with me. I kept driving. Mile after mile, the world fell away into darkness. No other cars, no towns, just endless stretches of highway lined with skeletal trees that seemed to lean closer every mile. And every time I checked the mirror, the reflection seemed a little more wrong. The angle of the back seat, the texture of the upholstery. Once I swore I saw the imprint of fingers pressed into the fabric. That was when the knocking started. Not loud, not urgent, just 3 faint taps from inside the car. My hands tightened on the wheel until my knuckles burned. I didn't stop. I didn't turn around. I just pressed the gas harder, like speed could outrun something already seated inches behind me. The radio crackled on by itself, static hissing like a whisper I couldn't quite hear. And buried under the noise, a voice said one word: drive. I don't remember the next hour clearly. The road looped, twisted, folded back on itself. I saw the same abandoned diner 3 times, its neon sign frozen in flickering half-light. I saw the same deer standing by the roadside, head cocked, eyes too human. And in the mirror, the man was there. No features. Just an outline, darker than shadow, filling the back seat. I couldn't see his face, but I could feel his stare. Heavy, cold, endless. When I tried to pull over, the brakes refused to catch. The pedal went soft under my foot, and the car kept rolling like something else had control. I begged out loud for it to stop. That was when the voice whispered again, closer this time, like breath against my ear. You picked me up already. I don't remember screaming, but my throat was raw. The mirror fractured, a hairline crack splitting the reflection. For a moment, I saw myself sitting in the backseat too, mouth open, eyes wide. Then it was gone. The car coasted to a stop at the edge of a field. No lights, no road, just tall grass swaying in a wind I couldn't feel. The driver's door unlocked by itself. And when I turned my head slowly, against every instinct, I saw the backseat empty again, except for a folded slip of paper. My handwriting, my name scrawled across it. The message inside read, "Don't look in the mirror next time." I don't know how long I sat there, engine dead, breath fogging the glass. But when I finally looked up, I was no longer alone. Figures stood in the field, dozens of them, all facing the car. Each one had the same outline, each one the same faceless shadow, and they were all waiting for me to open the door. If you hear something in the back seat tonight, don't check, don't look, don't give it shape, because once you see it, it knows you. So tell me, would you keep driving if the mirror showed someone already inside? If I disappear, This story is the only proof. Subscribe to this channel so you'll remember I was here. Memory doesn't last long when the road decides you're not driving anymore. And if you hear 3 faint knocks tonight from inside your car, don't answer. It's just me still trying to get out. Bloody Mary, the mirror that remembers you. Halfway dark horror story. The first sound is a whisper. It's my own breath bouncing off glass, fogging the mirror in front of me. The bathroom is dark, lit only by the weak glow of my phone screen on the counter. The tap drips once, twice, then stops, as if even the pipes are listening. I tell myself this is just a story, just a ritual kids dare each other to try. But the thing about stories is they don't survive this long unless there's something behind them. And some mirrors don't just reflect, they remember. It started with a party. Someone suggested we try it. 3 of us crammed into a bathroom that smelled like spilled beer and sheep soap. The mirror over the sink was cracked, one corner spider webbed like frost. The rules were simple. Lights off, candles lit, say her name 3 times. I laughed with everyone else, but my voice shook when I joined in. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, bloody. The 3rd word caught in my throat, not because I was scared, because someone else whispered it at the exact same time. Someone not in the room. The candle flames bent sideways, guttering. We burst out laughing, shoving each other, brushing it off. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the reflection had lagged, that when we left, my mirror self hadn't moved in sync. That night, I dreamed of her. Not a monster, not a corpse. Just a woman standing in the mirror, watching. She didn't move until I looked away. Then I'd catch her in the corner of my eye, closer each time. I stopped using mirrors, brushed my teeth with my eyes shut, shaved by touch alone, but reflections find ways in, dark windows, storefront glass, even the black sheen of a phone screen. And every time, she was there, a fraction too close. One night, I woke to the sound of my bathroom door creaking open. The mirror inside hummed faintly, like static buzzing through the walls. Drawn against my will, I stepped inside. The glass was fogged, though the air was cold. And in the condensation, words had been traced by an unseen hand. Say it again. I backed away. My reflection didn't. It leaned forward, palms pressed flat against the glass. The skin of its hands was raw, like something clawing upward through broken stone. Then it whispered, my name. The sound came from both sides of the mirror. I smashed it with a towel rack. The glass shattered, fragments spilling across the floor. For a moment, the room was silent, until the shards began to move. Each piece trembled, then twisted, angling itself upward. And in every jagged reflection, her face stared back. Dozens of her, all whispering at once. I ran, but reflections are patient. They don't need doors. Now, when I pass a mirror, my reflection sometimes doesn't follow. It lingers, staring, lips moving soundlessly. And I think I know it's only a matter of time before it climbs through. If you ever try the ritual, don't worry about saying her name 3 times. That part doesn't matter. What matters is this. Once she knows your face, she doesn't forget it. So tell me, would you dare look in the mirror tonight, knowing it might look back differently? If I vanish, this video is proof. Subscribe to this channel so you'll remember me, because once your reflection learns your name, it tries to take more than memory. And if the bathroom mirror fogs while you're alone, don't wipe it clear. She's already standing on the other side. A smiling man. When he follows, don't smile back. Halfway dark horror story. The first sound is my own footsteps. They echo too loud against empty pavement, like the street itself is hollow. Midnight air chills my skin, the kind that makes every shadow stretch longer than it should. And then I hear another pair of footsteps, perfectly in sync with mine. I don't look back, not yet. I tell myself it's just another late walker, just another night in the city. But deep down, I know the rhythm of those steps doesn't belong to anyone normal. Because sometimes the city isn't empty. Sometimes it smiles back. It began on a night when I worked late. The streets were deserted, shops shuttered, lamps buzzing faintly in yellow halos. That's when I noticed him. At first, just a figure at the far end of the block. Motionless, too still. Then he started walking toward me. Not rushing, not lurking, just walking. His posture was strange. Arms stiff, legs too precise, like he'd studied walking, but never practiced. And even from a distance, I could see his face. He was smiling. Not a fleeting smile. Not the absent grin of someone on their phone. This was wide, stretched, teeth bared in a perfect, unbroken display. I crossed the street. So did he. My pace quickened. His did too. Always matching me, never closing too fast, never falling behind. When I finally turned around, he froze, still smiling. I called out, demanded to know what he wanted. No response. Just teeth glinting under the streetlight. I turned back and kept walking, heart hammering. Minutes passed. I checked again. He was closer. I broke into a jog. His stiff arms swung too wide, legs jerking like a marionette, still smiling. When I sprinted, he sprinted. I ducked into an alley, weaving past dumpsters and graffiti-stained walls. For a moment, silence, and footsteps again. But wrong. They came from above. I looked up just in time to see him perched on the edge of the roof, head tilted, grin carved into his face. He leaned forward, impossibly balanced, like gravity didn't matter. Then he dropped, not onto the ground, into shadow. And when I turned, he was standing behind me, closer than ever. His lips moved, but no sound came out. Only the echo of my own voice, thrown back at me like a recording. I bolted, out of the alley, across the street, into the blinding glow of passing headlights. But the drivers didn't see me. They didn't see him either. The world blurred, smeared, stretched. Street after street repeated, buildings folding in on themselves. And at every corner, there he was, waiting, smiling. No matter how far I ran, he was never more than a breath away. I stumbled into a storefront window, catching my reflection, and froze. In the glass, I wasn't running. I was standing still, smiling. When I looked back, he wasn't there. Only my reflection, teeth bared, eyes wide, grinning too hard to belong to me. Now, every mirror lies. Every pane of glass shows him instead of me. And I know what happens next. One night soon, I won't be the one in the reflection anymore. If you ever see him, don't smile back. Don't acknowledge him. Don't even let him know you noticed. Because once you do, he follows forever. So tell me, what would you do if your reflection started smiling before you did? If I vanish, this video is proof. Subscribe to this channel so you'll remember I was here. Because once he gets inside the glass, he erases names first. And if you hear footsteps behind you tonight, matching your own, don't turn around. He's already smiling.